be diving into something that has been on my mind ever since the Xbox Developer Direct. And I'm talking about Xbox's new strategy in this industry. And if you have been paying any form of attention, you would know that Xbox has been making some pretty big moves in the gaming industry. But are they heading in the right direction? Let's break this down and see what's really going on with their evolving plans. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for all the gaming news, reviews, and analysis. So first, let's talk about the big announcements that came out of the latest Xbox Developer Direct. First up, we got confirmation that Ninja Gaiden 4 is finally happening. After years of speculation, this highly anticipated action game is set to deliver more brutal combat and deeper storylines, staying true to the franchise's roots while pushing the limits of modern hardware. Fans were also surprised with the reveal of Ninja Gaiden 2 Black coming to Xbox Game Pass, a remastered version of one of the best action games ever made on the console. And if that wasn't enough, we also got new release dates for South of Midnight, Clair Obscur, Exhibition 33, both of which that look really good with their unique art styles and immersive worlds. And they also announced Doom: The Dark Ages. The new chapter in the iconic Doom franchise looks like it's going to take us back to the series' roots with dark and medieval twists. So Xbox has had some really big shifts, and I mean really big shift in how they're thinking about their role in the gaming world. Historically, Xbox has been all about their hardware, and it makes sense because they're owned by Microsoft, pushing those new consoles with cool features and of course exclusive games that you can only get on Xbox. But recently, they're moving away from that. Instead of focusing on just selling consoles, Xbox is putting all its chips into this massive cross-platform ecosystem, and that's something that could really change the game for them in years ahead. Now, Xbox isn't just a console anymore, it's a platform. And I'm not just talking about the Series X or the Series S, no. Xbox wants to be everything. We're talking PCs, mobile phones, tablets, smart TVs, you name it. Xbox is building a software ecosystem that could reach gamers everywhere, not just those with Xbox hardware. Now some of you might be thinking, isn't Xbox all about exclusive games? What happened to that? And that's the $1 million question right now. Exclusives has always been one of Xbox's major selling points. They create this sense of brand loyalty, right? If you want to play Halo, Forza, or Gears, you need an Xbox. But in today's landscape, where players are spread across all these different types of devices, the whole concept of exclusives just gets murkier and murkier. We're seeing more and more rumors that games like Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves might eventually make their way to PlayStation or Switch, which is crazy to think about, right? This shift signals that Xbox is thinking about things differently. So what does this mean exactly for Xbox fans who are still really hardcore about owning a console and only playing on Xbox? Well, here's where it gets interesting. Xbox is rethinking its definition of Xbox audience. Instead of just focusing on the people who own the hardware, they're saying let's bring Xbox games to everyone. PlayStation owners, Nintendo fans, PC players, mobile users, and if you're a gamer, Xbox wants to reach you. It's all about the games, not the platform you play it on. And honestly, I don't mind that opinion. I like it. I think it's unique. I really feel like they don't think they're winning this console war, so they're trying anything and everything they can to really get their games out there and still make this money at the end of the day. But here's the catch. This new strategy will be a really tough balancing act for Xbox. As much as they want to be everywhere, they still need to keep their existing console audience happy. If Xbox brand becomes just about software, then what's the incentive to buy an Xbox console? It's a tricky road to navigate. And it's true, like, why would somebody want to buy an Xbox console if they could still play the games really anywhere at this point? And speaking of consoles, let's talk about sales. Now, Xbox has been in a bit of a slump with its hardware sales. Even though the Series X and S are still relatively new, their sales actually dropped by 12.7% year over year in 2023. That's a bit concerning, especially since the console sales usually ramp up as the console matures. And to make matters worse, the Nintendo Switch, which is 7 years old at this point, is still outselling Xbox by almost 2 to 1, which is a lot. That's a big problem when you're trying to compete in a hardware race. And it's funny because it's not like Nintendo is doing anything revolutionary with their hardware. The Switch is still rocking their original design, and it doesn't even have the raw power of the Xbox Series X. But they do have killer first-party games, like Zelda, Mario, Metroid. These exclusives are the backbone of Nintendo's success. And they did just make an announcement of the Switch 2 coming out this year, actually. Meanwhile, Xbox is trying to keep up, but their focus on services means they're not relying on exclusive titles to push their hardware. And this is actually where the Activision Blizzard acquisition came into play. Huge deal for Xbox, right? They've gained access to one of the biggest first-person shooters in the world, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Overwatch, and a bunch of other iconic franchises. But there's a catch to that too. As part of the acquisition, Xbox has pledged to keep games like Call of Duty multi-platform for at least the next decade. So exclusivity doesn't come into play here to boost Xbox sales in the short term. Now some people might say, why does this matter? Call of Duty is still going to be on Xbox, right? Yeah, but keeping it multi-platform, Xbox is missing out on the chance to make it an exclusive system seller. This makes things even more complicated because exclusivity is a powerful tool in the console wars. But Xbox is betting that Game Pass and a broader ecosystem will be enough to bring in new users, even without relying on exclusivity. And I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on that, because I think exclusivity definitely does bring people into a console. I think it's a really big thing. Now there is other things, but I think it's a huge thing. But Game Pass is really where Xbox has been shining. The service has been a game changer for them, and honestly, for gaming in general. But the growth of Game Pass has unfortunately slowed down a little bit. It's a smaller increase than Xbox would probably like to see, especially considering how important Game Pass is to them in the long-term strategy. So what does all this mean? Xbox's ultimate goal is to make Game Pass available on many devices as possible. They're trying to get Game Pass on everything: phones, smart TVs, and other consoles, you name it. And if Xbox can really build a successful service that doesn't require Xbox's hardware, they can start capturing players wherever they are. But let's be real, there are limits. Can you imagine PlayStation ever letting Xbox Game Pass service run natively on their platform? It seems unlikely. Even though Xbox is aiming for this everywhere vision, there is still going to be some resistance from their competitors. And looking ahead to 2025, Xbox is going to release more first-party games, but don't expect those titles to completely change the console's narrative. The truth is, Xbox's strategy in 2025 and beyond is likely going to focus more on expanding Game Pass and its services rather than trying to outsell PlayStation or Nintendo in this hardware race, which they have been trying to do for years now. But that being said, we're still going to see some exclusive titles. It's just that these exclusives alone aren't going to make or break Xbox anymore. But one thing we'll definitely see in 2025 is how Xbox integrates with the Activision Blizzard games into their ecosystem. Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and other big titles have already hit Game Pass, and that really is a big draw. There's a lot of money on the line here, and they're going to need to tread really carefully. And then let's not forget the PC crowd. Xbox has a lot of powerful PC exclusives, World of Warcraft being a massive one. What happens to these games? Will they stay exclusive to PC, or will Xbox bring them into a broader ecosystem through Game Pass on consoles and mobile? Honestly, it's anyone's guess at this point. But one thing for sure, one thing to take from this entire video, is that Xbox is making gaming more accessible to the players. In a few years, who knows? We could see Xbox running on everything from a smart refrigerator to cloud-based gaming platforms that don't require you to have a beefy PC or console. It's all about accessibility, and Xbox seems to be betting that this is the future of gaming. In the next few years, the company will continue to build out its software, pushing Game Pass to as many devices as possible, but it's definitely gonna take some time. We really won't see the full impact of this strategy until like late 2025, or even within the next few years. But the groundwork is definitely being laid out right now. And I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And do you think Xbox is on the right track with this new shift away from hardware and exclusives, or should they stick to what they know and double down on traditional console gaming? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Pause for now, play forever. AK out.